Greetings and welcome to Talk to Me America, brought to you by Here's What I Heard. I'm your hostess, Laura the Goddess. How are you guys this week? Welcome. Got lots of things to show you tonight. A few things I'm going to go over. And of course, I need to explain my absence. Now, on Odysee, it's easy to post all of this stuff just with a couple of words. For some reason or another, YouTube still won't let me have a community page or whatever it is. You'll understand, okay? One of the first things, like I say, I apologize for my absence, but we had a very sudden and very painful death in the family. It will be 2 weeks ago Sunday now. This coming Sunday. So yes, that's still painful. I lost my little sister. I'm only going to mention the words blood clots, and that should tell you why. She was actually fully vaccinated and caught the coof in January, and she died on the operating table. So that was very painful. I'm still dealing with my parents. This was something that was completely unexpected, and this was my little sister. She was almost 8 years younger than I am. So yeah, this was tragic for us. So I apologize for not being there. In fact, sometimes you might notice I'm not even all here now. This, like I say, this was not a comfortable thing, and this actually, well, like I say, I'm saddened, but I'm actually extremely angry as well. And like I say, just keep in mind the words blood clots, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And like I say, her medical status and all that other too. So again, I'm angry. Very angry. I've been angry since they started this mess 2 years ago, but this makes me even more angry. And I'm wondering, I lost my little sister. I mean, that's tragic. And no parent should have to bury a child. Which brings me also to what happened, like, I guess the day after or 2 days after. We were already mourning pretty hard, and then the shooting in Uvalde happened. So at this point, though, all I can really say about it is the friends, siblings, wives, husbands, whomever it was. Thank you, Jesus, for the man who finally went in there and did the business that needed to be done. And I might be a little bit older than a lot of these folks as far as that goes with the sibling part and everything like that. But it's that kind of shit right there is never not painful. This week, I'm not even doing a Saturday video. We're still actually reeling over this. And this didn't help as far as that goes, but we are feeling your pain right now. Our hearts go out to you. If there's any way that you can help any of these folks, I actually have noticed that there's been a shitload of people that have stood up and manned up and whatever else you want to call it. There's even a person that's giving them all specialized coffins. Not that it makes any of it any better, but it helps to know that you have people behind you. So God be with them, God be with us, God be with you. Everybody, welcome everyone. Let me see. Oh, Pastor Chatelet, you're already ahead of the game, aren't you? It looks like everything is working. No one's complaining that they can't hear me yet, so I guess my mic is working as well. You get one of these, Pastor Chatelet. Yeah, that's something else. I've been meaning to do that too, but I actually just felt like getting on the computer 2 days ago after all of this, and it's still very, very fresh in my mind. So if I wander off or I do something unusual for me, please forgive me. I am in mourning. And I don't actually want to say too much more about the Uvalde situation, mainly because of the fact that there's still information coming out of that. That we don't know yet. I don't like to comment on anything unless I know that I know all the facts, and it seems like weirder and weirder shit's coming out about that every day. Of course, I like to keep things simple. You guys know me if you've been following me or whatever like that. You know I like to keep things simple. Okay, thank you, Pastor Shadley. He's letting me know that everything's A-okay. You can hear me. You can see me. So, like I say, a lot of this stuff is not really looking good for the cops. And I'm wondering if that's not as on purpose as defund the police was at one point. But we'll get into that later. Not to mention the fact that this is something that I want to impose upon people. I don't want to, that's not the right word, but I told some of my friends the other day, man, if you have anybody or know anybody that's voting for Beto O'Rourke, please drag them away from the polling. Don't let that man in, because this asshole, and I'm going to read you something that he wrote. A lot of people have gone to it, but I don't know if you really understand exactly how this person actually thinks. But he's trying to use this tragedy for these 21 people, using it as a using it to virtue signal himself into the governorship of Texas. That it doesn't work that way. And yes, we're sorry that these people that these people died and everything like that, but we can't really blame anybody except for the person that did it. So like I said, I like to keep it simple. They've already taken care of the person that did it. The rest is kind of moot, except for the fact that people actually, if there's some of the stuff that's coming out about these cops standing down, and I've even read a headline, which I haven't had time to look into, but I've even say, all I really know, keep it simple, 21 people are dead at the hands of some lunatic who had pretty wildly expensive equipment for someone of his status. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about that either. I have to, like I say, this is my main plea is please, Texas, don't be stupid enough to let Beto O'Rourke in office in any kind of authority. Because he to me will do to Texas what Biden is doing to the world right now. You want to say the United States, but basically we know that the United States economy is a lot of the world economy. I'm going to read you something that he actually wrote. Now, I know he was only 15 years old, but yeah, I don't care. That's old enough almost. Well, put it this way. At 13, and this is what Mr. Beto O'Rourke, as he was from the cult of the dead cow, and his pseudonym was the Psychedelic Warlord, a cult publication, 1988. That was 4 years after I graduated high school. Visions from the Last Crusade. The catacombs of my head produce the most wonderful dreams and visions. I feel that I am one with my intellect and my soul. It was during these dreams and visions that I concocted a notion. It started as something small at first, but after every dream it grew stronger until the urge had become too great. No longer could this strong desire in my mind be suppressed. Recognizing this fact, my one and only goal in my life became the termination of everything that was free and loving. Only I could realize the true value of loving and expression, only in my dreams. This feeling pervaded everything in my life, yet the first few months after realizing my goal, I had done nothing. Then one day, as I was driving home from work, happiness and sense of freedom were much too overwhelming for them. This happiness was mine by right. I had earned it in my dreams. As I neared the young ones, I put all my weight on my right foot, keeping the accelerator pedal on the floor until I heard the crashing of the two children on the hood, and then the sharp cry of pain from one of the two. I was so fascinated for a moment that when, after I had stopped my vehicle, I just sat in a daze, sweet visions filling my head. My dream was abruptly ended when I heard a loud banging on the front window. It was an old man who was using his cane to awaken me. He might have been a witness to my act of love. I was not sure, nor did I care. I was simply ecstasy. It was simply ecstasy. As I drove home, I envisioned myself committing more of these acts of love, and after a while, I had no trouble carrying them out. Excuse me. The more people I killed, the longer my dreams were. I soon quit my job and stayed at my house in an almost comatose state. My dreams grew longer and more vivid. Each one was more fulfilling than the last. I was never really surprised at how I evaded the police. My dreams had taken over my life, and they guided me through the right path. And I never had need of fear of police, or anything for that matter. Pretty deep, pretty dark, and pretty dastardly for any of this stuff. All right. Bruin Backhand, thank you for being here tonight. That's YouTube. We already knew he was a sociopath, but damn, this is right on the nose of sociopathy. Yes, indeed. And like I say, it's one thing for people to go there and read it, but to actually hear it out loud. I read it out loud the first time, and I thought, you know what? I got to share this with people. Because this is the demented person that wants to... And in the meantime, he's going to make us helpless. This was his goal. So he may not actually be killing people now in that aspect, but doing what he wants to do is going to get people killed, and he gets to watch. So yeah, this guy's a lunatic in my opinion. Please, please, whatever you do, Texas, do not let this man become our governor. Thank you, Sai. I appreciate it. Hey, Raynath. Thank you so much. It's good to be back. I couldn't keep brooding forever. I'm actually not the brooding type. Plus, also too, we've got an information war to win. And like I say, actually, it was a decent thing to take a break a little bit from the internet. And I actually ended up live or anything like that. But yeah, it's one of those easy ones that I can play. And killing people and doing headshots definitely is therapeutic. Digitally, of course. Digitally, of course. Always, always. But let's see. After reading that manuscript, and I've read it several times now, like I say, I read it out loud. A lot of times when you want to have impact on something, if you want to actually really feel it, and you read it out loud. That's also how you know if you've done any... if you're doing your own writing, you read it out loud, it's like, oh, okay, that didn't flow very well or something. To me, that, even at his age, just plain deviant. Evil and sick. Sick. And I've never heard him apologize for it, or whatever it is they make it, these politicians always do, denounce it. I've never heard him denounce it or anything like that. And this guy wants to be in charge of our laws and enforcement here. No, absolutely not. Because his little stunt with the governor this past week also, children. All he cares about is winning the governorship so he can do his deeds to us. And he's already told us exactly what he wants to do. Several times. He's aiming to take away our guns. He's going to make us helpless against people like that person in Uvalde. And I, for one, no. Absolutely not. So I implore you, if you will, please, if you're in Texas, don't vote for this idiot. Now, I'm going to give you an example as to why it's really important that we don't vote for this guy, because he's going to make it impossible for stuff like this to happen. Let me make sure I got everything here, so no echo or anything. All right, yeah, here we go.
A grandma comes face to face with a stranger in her own home who would not leave. She grabbed her gun and fired a shot, but at that point the man was unfazed.
Back off, dude. I said, then he just kept coming toward me. So I just lowered my gun and shot him. But I knew I was going to protect myself. I'm a fighter.
Well, that man eventually died from the gunshot wound, and Fox 35's Stephanie Buff-Monty joins us in Orlando.
Stephanie, you spoke with this woman today. She went into detail about exactly what happened.
That's exactly right. The 70-year-old grandmother told me it was truly terrifying to have a man break into her home. She felt like she had to jump into action and defend herself, so that's why she says she shot him right at the end of the driveway.
I didn't know what he was going to do, but I knew I was going to protect myself. I'm a fighter.
Afternoon near Bentwood Street and Farwell Avenue when she heard the door handle moving. The next thing she knew, there was an intruder in her home.
And he stepped in. And I just turned around and I said, "Who are you? What do you want?" Nothing. This guy never said a word the whole time he was here.
He was on
She
some
told
kind
him
of
to
drugs.
leave and hit him with the broom, but says he swatted it away. Then her partner got his gun and Virginia got hers. Virginia's partner fired a warning shot from inside the house and Virginia went into the backyard. But that's when
He just kept coming.
So she shot him in the chest.
And I didn't realize I'd hit him, but once I looked, he had a hole right here in his t-shirt, and I thought, I got him.
Virginia's neighbors say she's a tough lady.
And if you think about coming in here stealing or robbing somebody, you got another thing coming.
Orange County Sheriff's Office confirms the suspect, a man in his 30s, died. It's something that's been weighing on the grandmother.
I have feelings. I have God in my life. That's my main thing, wondering if God's going to forgive me for taking a life. It bothers me.
That's your average gun owner. We don't want to use them. Don't make us. But that is the great equalizer. Can you imagine what this 38-year-old man would have done to this poor old lady? Look at how feeble she is. She looks like you could break her bones real easily and everything like that. He wouldn't have even needed a weapon. And if her partner is this old as well, like I say, the great equalizer. And Beto O'Rourke wants to take that away from people. I wonder if he's planning on doing any... I know kids do dumb things, but... I don't know. So, yeah, this sentiment, is actually rattling around somewhere, still, probably, in this horsehead's mind. So yeah, please don't put him in any positions of power. Please don't put him in any positions of power. Of course, this is a call-in talk show. This is where once again, you are viewing Talk to Me America, where the world wants to know what you have to say. So call me and tell them like it is. Also, too, if support, and all of that stuff. I hate begging for money, but we all need it one of these days, don't we? Dual wield, yes, exact. Pastor Shadley, what game? It's called Left to Survive. It's a zombie shooter, and I use minimal keys. It's mostly a mouse game for me. I'm not good at all that other stuff, all the keys and all this other remembering this and remembering that, unless it's a mouse game. And I've watched you play some of those other games, and it's like you get this spreadsheet of all of your items that you own, and it's like, and it's weird because if I do a game like that, I'll do a scenario and I'll finally win it after a while, and I'll go back to my inventory and it's like, damn it, I could have used that and it would have been easier. I don't remember all that stuff. So yeah, like I say, digitally dismantling people's heads from their shoulder, well, actually zombies' heads from their shoulders, proved to be quite therapeutic, especially as angry as I am about this situation. All right, coming from someone who not only, and you know what, I don't even identify as one. I am one. I am a woman. You are looking at a full-blood, pure-blood woman. You can't convince me I'm of anything else. It has, It's actually a science. Left 4 Dead. No, not that one, PSYOP. It's called Left to Survive. You kind of sort of build up your... It's almost kind of sort of like the Walking Dead kind of thing, I think. Now, I didn't watch that a whole lot, but it seems like the same like scenario. These people get together and you find survivors in different places, and then they build up their towns and cities and their supplies and their farms and all of that, and they get together and they protect their areas against not only zombies but other clans, I guess you could say. Something like that. But like I say, for the most part, it's a just a first-person shooter. It does have PvP though, which is actually kind of fun, and I actually won some of those too, which I'm really surprised. Those are the ones that you actually have to move them on the keys. If you like, I'll do it live one day. I'll have to, maybe I'll do it one afternoon when to set up will allow me to do that game, because it's very lifelike, I guess you could say, or the graphics in it, you know how that goes, and then trying to live feed it at the same time. So I'll try if you guys want to watch what I'm talking about. It's a fun game for me. Yeah, some guy from Maine. That's exactly it. And this bullshit that Biden keeps coming out with, some guy from Maine says he agrees, he carries, but he never want to have to use it, but it's there if you need to. Exactly. This is not something that it's not a toy, it's not a game, and it's serious business. And this bullshit with Biden talking about, oh, the deers don't wear Kevlar. Nah, fuck you, man. Second Amendment, stop trying to convince everybody that Second Amendment means that we can go hunting when we want to. Because, no, absolutely not. And I'm still going to say this is the only reason why we're not Canada. And actually, to be honest with you, I was surprised about this last little edict that they did about banning the handguns. I didn't think Canadians could have guns, period. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done what they did during the protests and some of the things that Trudeau is trying to put into fashion up there. So, yeah, no. Bruin Backhand says, yes, exactly, self-defense. She even tried using a broom before she escalated force. Indeed. Well, it's like I say, you see her, she's distraught over having to do what she had to do. That's not an evil person. That's a person that's strong and still self-reliant at 70 years old. You know what I'm saying? But again, Beto wants to make people like her and you helpless against somebody like this guy. And I would venture to say that this guy was big and he towered over her and he had no expression on his face. He more than likely was on some kind of drug which made him emotionless and unfeeling. So, yeah. And what's to say, I always see these warnings on a lot of these labels for a lot of these psychotic drugs that these people take and they're given and everything like that. And one of the things that they talk about is a possibility of ending oneself. Could the opposite not be true as well? Do you have thoughts of ending others? I mean, it's really not very different other than the fact of who's getting the ending at that point. And again, it makes you that emotionalist to where you can just look at somebody and just as soon end them. So, anyway, let's see. I got distracted here. Back to the thing with Beto. The Potato said that 22 caliber rifle is best for self-defense. AR-15 is a 22 caliber weapon. That figures. I don't take advice from anybody when it comes to that. I go to have some personal friends that actually own a range out here, and they actually also do the hunting trips around here too, especially for the nighttime hog killing, because that's actually something that people are getting paid to do down here, because the wild hogs down here are breeding like crazy. If you carry to shoot someone, you're doing it wrong. People who carry and respect 2A don't want to shoot people. It's exactly right. Iceburn! How are you doing? Welcome to the show. You get one of these. Yeah, as I say, it was one of the things I meant to do. Is I'm going to give you a little bit of break in between all that, because a lot of this is real serious shit tonight. And I try to put a little bit of levity, but this is this is for all of my metal fans, and this reminds me of 451 Actual. Let's see if I've got everything working here. This should do it. All right, here we go.
Bring down the
One more time.
Bring down the
Some metal birds, man. I'm probably going to get copyright struck for that, but I don't care. That was cool. I enjoyed that. Metal birds. Anybody know what those are? Lunchtime humor. Yeah, he didn't even... I hate seeing videos and they don't tell you what actually is going on. Although that was perfect. That was perfect. All right. Just like in the song by the Kinks, I know what I am. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. And Lola wasn't. Even the dictionary defines a woman. Noun. An adult female human being. Guilty. Guilty. So, of course, with all of these people that just have no clue and no Google, evidently, Matt Walsh did a documentary where he asked a lot of people, including, in fact, he even went all the way to Africa to ask them what a woman was. I mean, this man traveled around the world to find out what a woman was, because there's so many people in doubt right now. Namely, one of our chief justice, or one of our justices, and wasn't there a girl? I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea what she was in front of Congress or whoever she was for, but this guy asked her if men could get pregnant, and she said, without hesitation and a big stupid grin on her face, yes. I want to know what men she's hanging out with. Are there aliens that we don't know about or something? I mean, you know, now I know seahorses are male and they give birth, but that's not the same thing. So anyway, again, this comes after a plethora of so-called officials and professionals no longer being able to define what a woman is, and everyone can just define for themselves or identify as ... But you still, even if you're going to identify as, there's still got to be some kind of definition of what they like to keep things simple. Complicating the most simple things in life actually, to me, leads to not only confusion, but unnecessary drama, in my opinion, which at my age, actually, I've always hated drama. My parents will tell me different, but it was more like I wasn't doing drama. I was trying to get attention. I'm an entertainer. That's what we do. But not to mention the fact that I'm sick of the word phobia being used. They need to find a different word than transphobia. Ain't nobody afraid of your ass. All right? Nobody's afraid of you. All right? How about, I've got one. How about trans agnostic? Because from what I can tell, that's what I say. Most people just don't believe you. They're not afraid of you. Plus, if you have to seek or demand justification from everyone else, then you don't seem very secure in your decision to be what you are. in my opinion. You shouldn't have to go around explaining yourself or demanding that people do shit for you. You know, you get on TikTok or you get on these other places and you tell complete strangers how to deal with you. And most of them are going, who are you again? As I say, so no one is phobic of you. All right? And your TikTok lectures and your parades do your kind actually a disservice, in my opinion. Again, like I say, if you're not confident in what you want to be or what you are, how can you expect everyone else to be, or anyone else to be for that matter? You know, and especially since nobody really cares that much about your lifestyle, it's up to you. I call myself a trans agnostic because I don't believe you. Hell, you don't even act like you believe you most of the time. And you know, folks could be asking questions because they want to understand you. They want to know, you know, rather than lecturing people and telling them, don't associate with me if you don't agree with this and whatever. Most people don't even understand. I still don't understand the attraction to being sliced open and... But then again, I'm of the opinion that God doesn't make mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. You're here, you're doing these things, you're for a reason. So, I you know, what can I tell you? You know, and of course, some folks are just compassionate enough to want to know all about it, so that they'll understand it, so that they can treat you the way that you want to be treated. But if you can't even explain it without notes or any of that, well, that right there is just another thing that makes you sound insecure. And people pick up on that, whether you, no matter how much you get up there and start, you better this and you better that. And no, that's an insecurity. And like I say, it's not that they're afraid. There's no phobia there. They just don't believe you because you don't believe you. So, and you know, it makes you sound insecure. Plus, also, too, in this case, you expect everyone to know you and your address preferences via osmosis, perhaps? Now, I've been alive for a long time, and I have yet to meet a mind reader in my life. And I meet a lot of people. In fact, I meet almost 1,000 people in a weekend sometimes. And you guys need to get off your high horse on that one. All right. And like I say, my definition of a woman, you're looking at one. You're looking at one. So, and I don't just identify as either. I am one. I'm confident in that. I will argue to you, it'll be a hill that I'll die on. How about that? That's how confident in what I am. If I start seeing that kind of confidence coming from some of these folks, these trans folks and everything, then we can, you can't do something, or why you can't be somewhere, or why you let people down, or why you stood somebody up. I don't have time for that, and I would never treat anybody that way. And I don't accept that treatment as well. So you don't like it? That's your problem? And then isn't it? And so all your other fantasies at that point. Look, you can be whatever you want. I really don't care. Most of the world does not care, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Okay? But I will decide for myself what to say. That's the reason I have this call-in talk show, because I want others to call me and tell them like it is. I know that a lot of you guys got opinions on this, especially the Beto O'Rourke problem. And also, too, this thing, you know, another thing I have problems with is that they're trying to project this on our children and our grandchildren. No, you don't have that right. And I don't care how many times you tell me, the children are owned by the community. No, they're not. In fact, we need to be responsible enough to make them good children, good enough people to actually continue the community. They don't believe. So, back that up. Okay. So, And like I say, if you're that insecure that my opinion will change your life and make you all crazy and make you scream and yell at people and not be and be even less confident in yourself, then you need more help than getting everyone to agree with your delusions. And don't even dare try to come to me with advice about how to be a woman or what a woman is or any of that stuff, because this head, these ears are not listening to that shit. If anything, you motherfuckers should be listening to us. If you want to be a woman that badly, listen to actual women and what they do and what they go through. All right? You need to learn from the masters. All right? And like I say, if you start believing in yourself and you start being non-insecure about all of this mess, he just says, when you start screaming at people, it's basically saying, I'm wrong, at the top of your voice. And ears close. It's like, oh, I don't have to listen to you. Freedom of speech, yeah, but oh my God, no. And I still have this question, and I've posted this before. In fact, it's a snippet somewhere on one of my channels. I think it's on Gab or something like that. If, because of the fact that they're always screaming and yelling, war on women, women have it so badly, they don't have the same pay, they don't have any, if women have it so bad, why do you want to be one so badly? And on the other hand, if men are so toxic and so bad for society and ecology and all that other stuff, why do you want to be a man? This is the main question that I have. Because they're going to be the first ones to tell you how bad men are. Oh, men are terrible. You can't do this. You can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And then they turn around. Oh, well, we're going to accept a man into our midst. But he's a woman. Blows my mind. And you give that male person, that patriarch, if you will, more power than your own self. That's the weirdest thing in the world I've ever, this was not, women's rights and all that stuff were not about anything about men doing that. So, like I say, get a little bit more secure with it. Stop lecturing people. Maybe people will start believing you. But don't use the word phobia anymore, because ain't nobody afraid of you people. Okay? It's not a scare thing. It's a we don't understand thing. It's a you don't make any sense to us thing. It's a you can't take away women's rights thing. And shouldn't be trying. Okay? We're not afraid of you. Nobody's afraid of you. In fact, I've seen people go up against you as athletes and everything like that. No one is afraid of you. All right, what do I got? Okay, actually, this trans thing actually is getting so bad. I found a couple of articles to where animals. New York. Let's see, when did this come out? May 19th. I think this is something I saw while I was... No. Well, maybe. I don't know. Remember. Anyway, it just struck me. It's like New York High Court to determine if Bronx Zoo elephant is a person. Seriously? Of course, if they actually deem this elephant a person, they can actually start... they get all the rights of the Constitution, which means he can start carrying. Or she, I think. Let's see. Albany, New York. She has 4 limbs, expressive eyes, and likes to stroll through greenery in New York City. Happy is her name. By species is an Asian elephant, but can she also be considered a person? No! Absolutely not! Does that mean she gets free health care? Of course she gets free health care right now anywhere as it is. New York, not surprised. Hey, Hallie! Thank you for being here. Thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for being here. Of course, if you want to support me, all my links are down below here somewhere. I've got PayPal. I've got Odysee. In fact, you can give me either cash or bit or whatever coins it is. What do they call that on Odysee? But yeah, back to this. An elephant. Can an elephant be a person? No. Actually, Hallie, have you seen this? You're in New York. Is this something that... Is this something that they're... Because it says ABC 13. I don't know what you watch up there or whatever like that. But it seems like it's one of their... It almost seems like it's one of the things that they're using to divert you from all of the crime and everything else that's going on up there right now. But yeah, that question was before New York's highest court. Your actual Supreme Court is determining right now whether or not an elephant can be considered a person. The only thing that comes to mind in that aspect is Ted. But Ted was a stuffed animal. Hallie says she doesn't watch TV news. It wasn't in any of your newspapers? I mean, you didn't catch a glimpse of it anywhere? Because this was on all over the internet. Biggie Smalls, welcome. Oh, cool. Is that the movie Biggie Smalls? Bigot Smalls. Sorry. Is that the movie? I can't really afford to pay for it, and I'm not paying for a membership for things that I can actually get for free. That's, well, it's terrible to say that, but I'm what can I say? I'm broke. They're squeezing us all really hard right now. Anyway, if that's not bad enough, all right, in California, and this doesn't make any sense to me either, bees are fish under California Endangered Species Act, state court. So, just bumblebees are eligible for protection as endangered or threatened fish under California law, as state appeals court held in a win for environmental groups and the state's Fish and Game Commission. Sacramento-based California Court of Appeals reversed a lower court's ruling Tuesday for 7 agricultural groups who argued that the California Endangered Species Act expressly protects only birds, mammals, fish, amphibians, reptiles, and plants, not insects. So then, rather than recategorizing a bee as a fish, because they're absolutely nothing alike, and if you try to treat one like the other, you're going to kill them anyway. While fish is commonly understood to refer to aquatic species, the term of art employed by the legislature is not so limited. All right, so rather than, like I say, rather than changing a bee to a fish, why not just add insects or add bees to this CESA Act? Because again, if you mix those up and you try to treat one like the other and vice versa, you're going to kill them anyway. Because bees don't do water and fish don't do flowers. Just, again, to keep it simple. So, again, they're changing the definition even to the point of where bees are now fish. It's nuts. Sai asks, would an elephant vote for an elephant or a donkey? To be honest, I think an elephant would vote for an elephant. If you know anything about elephants, they're very loyal to one another. And they're very smart, to keep it simple. So yeah, it's so bad. Everybody wants to change everything into everything else. It's so bad now that our court systems are literally turning animals into trans species or whatever. In some aspects, I'm just wondering. I'm at this point saying how much farther will it go seems like a challenge to these people. Let me see if I can pull this up. What is this? Oh, nice. Thank you. I do want to watch that, and I might even, if I get a chance to watch it, I appreciate it, Big and Smalls. If I do get a chance to watch it, I will do a critique on it. That might be my next video. Suddenly, that was pretty controversial. And of course, if you guys want to talk about this, please call me. This is a call-in talk show. 409-877-1243. I know you guys love to hear me talk, but this show isn't about that. Or I didn't think it would be. I don't want to be like everybody else. But I also, well, you guys, if you've been with me for any amount of time, you know why I'm doing this. It's important and imperative for us to continue to exercise our freedom of speech. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, we got to keep moving. Because they won't stop. None of this, anybody that wants to thwart this or wants to stop this, they won't stop. In fact, speaking of the What is a Woman, according to what I've been reading, since last night, since the premiere, I don't remember exactly what, I think I was listening to, I was listening to Salty. Listening to Salty last night, and all of this started to come up, because they premiered this about, this. They had a DDoS problem, which basically what happened was the bots, they initiated the bots, they overloaded their servers so that the actual initial people, or the actual people that the what do they call the legitimate people that wanted to watch the video couldn't. So, all right, welcome, hello, Space Pirate Yvonne, welcome. Appreciate you being here. You get one of these. I swear I'm going to make that gong a little louder. I haven't been in on it. Yes, you have. Who's ready for some prawns? This is what is a woman on YouTube. Be careful with torrents. Okay. Yes, thank you.
Or I host a talk.
Nice. Okay. Fantastic. I will save that to watch later. And I'll do a video. I'll do a critique on it. Awesome. Thank you. You gave me something to watch while I'm shooting zombies. More than likely, from what I've heard, I've heard a few other people critique the trailer, I believe. And I think I think it was Lauren Southern did a critique. I saw it on Odysee last night. She actually got a preview copy, and she was able to do her critique on it like within an hour of it being released or whatever. Yes, I've been busy today. But basically, from her review of it, it seems like it's answering a whole bunch of questions that we already know, which is they're doing this on purpose. But like I say, I'll watch the movie and I'll do a review of it for you guys if you like. And again, let me know if you want to watch me play that game. Oh, somebody was calling. I'm sorry, I missed your call. Keep trying, whoever you are. Pan-seared pork loin, thinly sliced, served on a bit of fresh. Hey, you're making me hungry now. Forwarded from Space Pirate Yvonne. I'm having eye trouble today too. That looks delicious. It's one of the things I really like about Odysee is you can share pictures and stuff. Prawns for the night. Are you like cooking this stuff? Is that your dinner? Beautiful. Beautiful. To be or not to be. You're hilarious, Hallie. Hallie says, classification of the animal kingdom is white supremacy. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, they would use that on us in any other fashion. So what that it doesn't make sense? Facts don't mean... What is it? Facts don't mean anything to your feelings, and feelings don't actually care about your facts. So we're even there, I guess. Is something wrong with your phone line? Oh, okay. That was you. Try again. Keep trying. I'm sorry. No, I didn't see it up. I've got so much stuff up on here. I need another screen. Thank you, Bruin Backhand. Thank you. Yes, that looks really delicious. If you guys are on Odysee, Ivan is posting pictures of dinner. Yum, yum. Looks very delicious. I'm definitely going to eat probably pizza or something quick after the show. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I don't have the volume up. 1 second. Let me turn the volume up.
Hello?
There she is. You're on the air, Hallie.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I had trouble getting through before. I don't know. Yeah. Hi. I was.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. I was just wondering, have we been taken over by these people that are fighting for some weird animal identity or has this country been taken over by a bunch of spoiled brats? Because that's what I get the feeling. Like if they don't get their way, or unless we can fashion their reality, call a bumblebee a fish, or I don't know, about an elephant. I was reading somewhere like a lot of people, kids now are law students are trying to, rather than study law, they're trying to use it for radical purposes. So I'm just wondering if this is just a symptom of it or something, or just indicative of a trend. I don't know if it's, same thing with what is a woman. I think they're trying to twist around our laws or something, reinterpret them. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing, or is it just me? Maybe I'm reading into it. But it is a very frightening thing. I just wondered, what did you think? How did you react to the Johnny Depp verdict?
Oh, I didn't care.
Well,
I don't care. Both of them are Hollywood weirdos, in my opinion, overprivileged assholes. They can kiss my ass. I don't care.
Yeah, I read parts of it. This is too nauseating. The fighting and the things that they were doing to each other. I mean, I had some sympathy though for Johnny Depp. I mean, I think for him to really take the bull by the horns like that, and try to try to say, "Oh, I didn't do any." I don't say play the victim, but just I think she didn't expect him to take her to court. I had no sympathy for her, so I like kooks. But do you see this affecting the Me Too movement? I mean, I'm wondering the feminists are going to take to the streets with this or something. Do you think this will affect his career, or maybe his career is already over? I don't know. He's pushing 60.
Well, supposedly this whole thing was because of the fact that he lost his... simply put, so we literally spent, a month on listening to these two go back and forth. They had a toxic relationship to begin with, in my opinion. And Hollywood is when it comes to that, a lot of the marriages and everything like that is just for show. Or just a passing, So,
if they even get married at all now at this point, they're all having kids out of wedlock and stuff. But the whole thing, the typical Hollywood marriage, Hollywood people. She struck me as I'm wondering if she was a borderline, possibly. I think they even said she was a borderline personality disorder. But she sounded really like a conniver. I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing for couples, they're typical for them to fight, but for her to take it to that extreme where she was really trying to vilify. I'm sort of, I'm sort of these kind of people. They're these guys that are just maybe pushing back with certain things. I mean, that's how I kind of see it. It'd be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, her own career is over. I mean, at least he can look back on it, not the films that he made. But I think that I don't know what else she did besides that Aquaman thing.
Actually, Johnny Depp at one time meant money, and if he's exonerated now, I see people probably asking him. In fact, I would bet you any amount of money Quentin Tarantino will probably ask him to be in a movie now.
Yeah, guess even though he won the case for the most part, they're going to still look at him differently. It's really tainted. Yeah. I mean, he was always weird, but now he's he was really, just aired out a lot of dirty laundry, and I don't just mean the sheets and stuff. Yeah. But no,
can you imagine? Like can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how that suddenly. I mean, I'm here in New York, so I went by the New York Post, and as on the cover of today's Post, thought that it totally, took over anything else. War in Ukraine, everything. That's, but I guess. People say, it's trivial, but in its own way, it's profound, because I think it does reflect a certain cultural shift. It'd be interesting to see where this leads. Because, yesterday I was in the dentist's office. Now we have that stupid Pride Month, which began yesterday. And I was sitting in the dentist's office, and so, they had TV on, the waiting room. And apparently Hulu is having some kind of documentary called Generation Drag about these young, these kids that want to be drag queens. I'm talking like really young, like even pre-teen. And I think I get the feeling like they're being defiantly weird at this point. People, I just read about some German woman who has an erotic attraction to airplanes. She wants to, or like appliances, so she wants to marry an airplane or something. I'm going, this is stupid. I see that TV show, My Mother the Car.
Yeah, I think everybody, there's a lot of people that are looking for verification, justification. They want to be rich, they want to make money, they want to be famous. I mean, I think this is also one of the reasons why Hollywood has gone so crazy too. They realize that with the internet, anybody can be famous. We don't need them anymore, and their plush lifestyles are not impressing anyone anymore. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't even give a damn about any of these actors. But I think that I guess truth has gotten so much stranger than fiction. What's the point of even going to the movies?
Right.
People are kind of out. So the only movies that I'll watch are old movies because I feel like there's a moral voice or something. But watching, I guess, the antics of these people, it's a mournful joke. But I keep wondering, like, why, or even what's out. Unfortunately, what happened with the shootings, and there was something that happened yesterday. I think in Oklahoma, it was a hospital. I think there's a massive mental health crisis going on right now. So the young people are doing anything and everything to get attention.
I was going to say, unfortunately, there is mental health.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When I was a kid, I don't know. I mean, my community is a terrible stigma of mental illness, but here it's like they're brazen about it. That's what. Like you said, anything for attention. I guess they need validation. They want money. I need money also, but I don't know if I can go that far. You were just showing all these things about people. Bumblebee is going to be a fish. I don't. No, I'm serious. Maybe they're against the classification system. Anything with rules. So I'm seeing that kind of a thing. That's too much reality for them. Anything with rules, anything with objective truth, they can't. It's really an assault on truth, normality. Anyway, listen, I'm gonna, I guess I'll spoke here, so I'll go back to being an observer. Wish you luck.
I really appreciate it, and it's always a pleasant, or it's always great to hear from another part of the country, because everybody has paradigms about each other. Everybody thinks that everybody down in the South are just dumb hicks, but that's not the case. And of course, everybody thinks that people from New York down here, everybody's a gangster up there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got their So, but I really like talking to people around the States. I've been around a lot of places, and one of the best things about it is meeting the people and talking to people.
But unfortunately, getting a lot of, I think a lot of these liberals, certain types are moving down south, especially Florida. So they're going to start to be their headache,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty much here in New York. I think I'm staying. Okay.
Okay, well, stay safe up there.
You will.
All right.
Okay, I will. Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. That's one of my regular callers. She's been calling me since day one, and I totally appreciate her. I appreciate everybody's The number is 409-877-1243. Call me and tell them like it is. Okay. All right, there we go. Whew, all right, let's see. What do we got here? Empress Psycho, welcome, welcome. Hey, Laura, I feel the same way about the Depp Heard trial. It was much too prolonged. Actually, now that you mention that, PSYOP on Odysee says, I think it was prosobic that millions in lost productivity. Yeah, and also, too, it was a distraction from all the money that they're sending out to the Ukraine right now that don't need to be sent out there, which they're going to lose anyway, according to what I'm reading and hearing. PSYOP says, all I know is about that Heard shit to bed like a cliche. Like I say, can you imagine? And that's really TMI in my opinion. And how does that have anything at all to do with the defamation case? Unless it's, I don't know. I gotta say, I don't know, don't you spank a dog with a newspaper if they poop on something that you don't want them to poop on? I was like, I would expect her to get slapped. At least if nothing else, snap out of it. What literally was on your mind? What the hell were you trying to do or prove by doing that? It even happened that she did that thinking that he would be the one to clean it up. But according to what I read and what I saw, he didn't even see it. Their poor cleaning lady had to deal with it. So yeah, what a psycho. Not to mention you can't be in your right mind. She had no sense whatsoever there. None at all. Space Pirate Yvonne says, if it was dropped to 10.35 million and Heard got 2 million back, she got the shitty end. Yeah, well, as I say, all that money, and all they're worried about is he said, she said, and we're worried about these two idiots, these two toxic idiots. Usually most actors are toxic idiots. They get it in their head that they're the best of everything. Everybody praises them. They get all these accolades, and it goes to their head. And then all of a sudden, they think they can do no wrong, and they do everything wrong at that point. So yeah, no, screw them. Put it this way: all that money they're wasting could be going to help these schools have better protection. We need to worry about protecting our children. Fuck these actors. Fuck these privileged pukes that don't know shit, that are always trying to tell us how to live and telling us that we're bad. Even though we support them, we're the ones that make them rich by buying their movies and buying their merchandise. Go fuck yourself. Not into it, and I don't care. You guys could beat each other to death and I wouldn't care. I'm more interested in protecting our children. And the people that actually make this country run. You pukes I can do without. Speaking of that, speaking of fakes, frauds, and phonies, have you ever watched some of the official events and wondered if the ASLs or the sign language interpreters are for real? Well, guess what? Some of them ain't. And I found one in Tampa, Florida. Another Florida person. Listen to this mess. Hang on, this is going to blow your ears out. I had to turn it up way up to hear her. Listen to this.
It's happened again.
Again?
Another sign language interpreter accused of signing total gibberish. This time it was at the police news conference announcing an arrest in the Tampa serial killings.
We will be charging 4 counts of first-degree murder.
Standing off to the side, apparently translating every word, this woman.
We received over 5,000 tips in this case.
But it turns out much of what she was signing was nonsense. She waved her arms around like she was singing Jingle Bells, says one outraged sign language expert. The woman, identified as Derlin Roberts, has a string of arrests for fraud. So how did she come to be translating at last week's high-profile police news?
Gee, I wonder.
I just didn't ask enough questions.
Tampa Police Public Information Officer Steve Haggerty
told
It's great that we have one here. I let her in.
Did this woman appear to know what she was doing?
To the untrained eye, and that would include mine, I didn't see any problems.
This latest embarrassment comes 3 months after it was revealed that the sign language interpreter at a Hurricane Irma news conference, also in Florida, made no sense.
The time to act is now.
Haggerty is summing up the latest goof.
We won't be using that woman again.
You think?
Cops say this was not a crime, but it was an ethical violation.
We won't be using this woman again. Is that all? You fucking idiot. Unbelievable, but I guarantee you a little bit of guilt. There was a little bit of guilt in there. She showed up and no questions asked. Meanwhile, you get another phony. It's actually hilarious. And you get what you deserved in that aspect. Alright, here's something. He should have said he offered her a contract to sign going forward. Yeah. Well, I'm surprised he didn't, actually. But they found out. Somebody told him that he was a fraud. He didn't know otherwise. But you saw him going, oh, I didn't ask a whole lot of questions. You know, you can't really do that anymore. Like I say, a little bit of guilt there, perhaps. Alright, here's something that I think that a lot of us could use. Just a little levity off the subjects, just, you know, to cleanse the palate. Because I've got the quiz coming up next. Alright. This is in Japan.
If you bring work, you have to finish, and the staff actually won't let you leave until you're done. You have to tell them what you'll be working on. Then they'll check on you up to 6 times an hour to make sure you're not slacking off. And each time they stop by, they'll bring you unlimited free snacks. When you're done your work, they'll give you an orange stamp, letting you know you're now free to go. This new cafe in Japan is a procrastinator's dream.
That you need to get something accomplished, and they help you do it while giving you food. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, there you go. Yes, salty space pirate Yvonne. Pizza and boobs. Those kind of go together in a way. Actually, you forgot the beer. All right, you forgot the beer. But yeah, who couldn't use one of those places around here? Man, I'd get so much done. I mean, just to have somebody bring me snacks all the time, that would be awesome. Unlimited snacks while you work. Because me, I would only have to work on I got 2 things that I've been procrastinating on, but then again, you guys know the reason why. But I'm working on 2 more of my spoof songs. If you haven't checked out my spoof song, Biden the Boomer, please check that out. I'm totally into big band. I've always wanted to do big band songs and stuff like that, and I thought, why not just do that? And I'll make stuff up. And I've been told that the production was pretty good and that it was pretty funny and everything like that. So I got 2 more big band songs that I'm trying to write new lyrics to. I haven't decided who I'm going to make fun of on one of them, and on the other I'm going to make fun of a plethora of people in power, if you will. And of course, now that I've found this shooter, like I say, I'll go live I think I'll try to go live on some of the time maybe that 451 Actual would be on there, and I'll try and play the game for you. Like I say, with the graphics and everything, I'm not sure how it's going to work. So, and they have their own overlay something or other that I can use too. So I'll experiment with that and show you guys the game that I found that is easy for me and is quite therapeutic. All right, you guys ready for this quiz? You're going to take this quiz with me. Babylon B has a quiz out to determine whether or not you are racist. Are you a racist? Take the quiz. I had to see this, and I'm doing this blind now. All right. There you go. Space Pirate. You still forgot the beer. All right. Space Pirate. Say, are you a racist? Take the quiz. I've been waiting all day for this. A lot of people get accused of being racist these days. It's a serious accusation, so we don't toss it around lightly. Take this quiz, and we'll let you know if you're actually a racist. All right, you can still call in. All right, you see a man on the side of the road. You guys got to tell me what you guys' answer are on this. You see a man on the side of the road flagging you down for help. What's the first thing you notice about him? His skin color? His stupid boss obviously has a blown radiator hose, and you've got to pull over to show your mechanical knowledge and impress your wife. Well, in my case, since it's a guy and I'm a chick, I probably wouldn't even think of stopping. So the first thing I would notice about him is that he was a him, and that he might possibly be trying to con someone into stopping. And of course, I don't have any mechanical knowledge, and I don't have a wife to impress. So this question actually doesn't really apply to me. So what's y'all answer? The stench from his bottom surgery. An F10 firing commas is enough to give one pause. Yes, that's cute. Who is that? Oh, Space Pirate Ivan. What's a man? Yeah, really, Iceburn. What's a man? Well, I don't have the qualms about that, so I already know the definitions. Okay. Bruin Backhand says number 2, his stupid Boston Red Sox hat. Does everybody concur with that? I was gonna say I'm in Texas. I don't see a lot of people wearing Boston Red Sox hats, so maybe an Aggies hat for me. Of course, like I say, as a female, I would notice the first thing about him would be it's a man, and I'm not stopping for a man. I shouldn't be expected to either, and I don't have a wife to impress. So I'm going to go with Bruin Backhand's answer, his stupid Boston Red Sox hat. Hallie says Red Sox people are up to no good. Okay, that's why it would stick out. All right, good Bruin Backhand. All right, you meet a new neighbor and he's black. What is your first reaction? Go in for an awkward handshake, but he goes in for the fist bump, and now it's weird. Say, greetings, neighbor. How about that excellent program on BET last night? Quite good, so he will accept you as one of his own. 3, try to avoid talking to him not because he's black, but because you do that with all your neighbors. I don't. Or 4, don't do anything different because his skin color doesn't matter so much as the content of his character. That's B. That's me there. I probably would go in for an awkward handshake and go to the fist bump, but I don't think that would make it weird. I would just, fist bump is cool too if you don't want a handshake. But actually, yeah, I wouldn't do anything different. Iceberg, good point. Zer's bottom surgery. All right. Like I say, my answer is number 4. What is everybody else? Does everybody else have an answer? I know I gotta wait for a minute. Because there's a Dway. I just run it over. Okay, yeah, Odyssee's a little bit farther behind than YouTube is for some reason. Okay, so you'd... Space Pirate Yvonne would run over the person on the road waving for help. Okay. Hallie says hers is 4. Bruin Backhand says he'd go for a chest bump. Because he's black? Okay. So, alright, number 4 it is. Don't do anything differently because his skin color doesn't matter as so much as the content of his character. Yeah. Howdy, neighbor. I'll wave at him just like I do everybody else, but we pretty much keep to ourselves for the most part. I don't butt into anybody's business. I don't really care. As long as you're not hurting me, my animals, my family, or anything like that, or doing anything against the law that could hurt people, then yeah, no problem. So number 4. All right, what race do you play in Skyrim? What's a Skyrim? Space Pirate Yvonne says, sorry, I had my DIE training hour already today. I'll bet you did. I don't know who you work for, but... Okay, what's your all's answer? I don't play Skyrim. I have... This one doesn't apply to me either. Let's see. Red Guard, a Nord, an Orc, a High Elf, or other. Is there... what other is there? Is there, like... I was gonna say, is that like, Is there a king? I'd be a king or a queen myself. Hallie says she'd be an elf. I know I have to wait for Odysee. For some reason, Odysee is lagging. I don't see any buffering, but... Okay, it's coming up now. I don't see any buffering, but it's still slower. Fairy Princess, maybe? I have no idea what Skyrim is, so... I know what an elf is. I know what an orc is. I have no idea what a Red Guard or a Nord is. And like I say, I would probably want to be in some kind of a high-ranking position. Like a queen or a mage of some kind. Or someone's wizard or wizardess. Or I don't know what they call that. So, yeah, Fairy Princess would work. All right, nobody else has an answer for that? All right, I'm going to use yours, Hallie. I'll put in there High Elf. Because that sounds like they're of some kind of authority. In your opinion, which one of these restaurants provides the best choices at the most reasonable prices? Sizzler... A cat thief. How am I running through the old servers? I've updated everything. You'll have to walk me through that later, Space Pirate. Anyway, in your opinion, which of these restaurants provides the best choices at the most reasonable prices? Sizzler, which we don't have one of those here. Ponderosa Steakhouse, which we used to have one of those in Fort Lauderdale. It was actually pretty good. Golden Corral, which we have here, and I wouldn't go there if you paid me to go there. Most of the ones that I've been to are filthy. Or Longhorn Steakhouse. The one that we used to have in Fort Lauderdale when I was a kid was good. It was real good. Used to go there all the time. Sizzler is the only one I've heard of. Sizzler. All right, so Sizzler wins. I'll put Sizzler up there. One final quick question. No... I don't know what NBD stands for. Just curious, are you white? Well, I have to answer yes. And I'm pretty sure... Well, I don't know. I really don't know what most of the people on my shows are. None of them. Yeah, you'd know. Iceburn wouldn't go to any of them. Well, like I say, Ponderosa to me was the best one that I know of. Sizzler, we don't have one here. I've heard of it, but we don't have one here. I've never been to one. And Ponderosa, we used to have a real good one in Fort Lauderdale when I lived in Florida. So that was my choice. But everybody else said Sizzler. Yeah, I gotcha. All right. Beige? Hallie, you're beige. Okay. All right, so that's essentially white. I'm white. I'll put yes. Oh, no! You're a racist. Wow. Actually, this almost sounds like as if that no matter what you put in there, this would come up. Our advanced quiz has detected that you are white and therefore racist. You must repent of your whiteness for the rest of your life. Too bad. Actually, too bad. I agree, too bad, but not the way they mean to. This isn't me. This is me. The answer is no, there's no such thing as white. Actually, that's true. White is the absence of any color. And I was going to say, if you really want to go down to brass tacks or split hairs. This is white. This is not white. In fact, I've got, let's see, I've got tan and brown and peach, pink, green, blue, brown, all my freckles. So yeah, I'm actually a mutt. I'm pink as fuck, he says. Okay. Peaches and cream. Yeah, that's what I say. But like I say, if I look at real close to myself, but I'm pink and peach and probably got purple in there somewhere. My veins look green. So, yeah, I've got all kinds of colors in me. So, yeah, don't call me white. But white is all the colors at once. Black is the absence of light. Yes. Okay. All right. All right. What was my next thing here? All right. That was... So, yeah, pretty much... This is Babylon Bee's quiz, and of course, this is actually to point out that you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. There's no winning with these people, so just keep going about your business and tell them to screw off. Blue blood can see the veins. Yeah, I think it's just getting that I'm getting old though. So, see a doctor about those varicose. I didn't know you could have varicose veins in your hand. Although I do have a few in my legs. They're quite ugly. Alright, some good news. Well, I don't know how good this is except for the fact that these people have been caught. But according to this article I found, I actually found this last week too before all of this happened. That I was absent last week. 135 teachers, over 100 educators in the United States are facing charges related to child crimes since the beginning of 2022. Fox News reported on Thursday. Police arrested at least 135 teachers and aides in 41 states from January to May 13th, amounting approximately to an average of one arrest per day. According to a Fox News analyst, approximately 76% of the arrests related to alleged crimes perpetrated against students. So, I'm wondering how well are some of these people vetted? Some of these teachers and everything like that. This is our public school system that's doing this. And actually, do you even pass any kind of background checks? Now, I've seen some teachers, and this isn't anything new. This is actually something that happened in high school. Of course, when I was in high school, I didn't realize it as I was not one of the victims. Perhaps they already knew my victimhood somewhere else. My teachers never victimized me this way, but I've met a few people that I went to high school with that I didn't know at the time that I went to high school, but when we meet again, it's like, oh yeah, I went there too these years. Did you know this teacher? They weren't in any of the same classes or anything like that. But they would tell me things like, oh yeah, I was dating this coach, or I slept with this coach and he gave me this, and I was like, really? So yeah, this is nothing new. It's a little bit different in high school, but still not right. The kids are a little bit older, if you will. In fact, this one lady, the one that I talked to, said that nothing happened with her until she was a senior. Again, not that it's right, but it's still a little different. But yeah, I was going to say, usually isn't that the practice of such folks as to try and work closely with these kids, in some fashion or another? Now, I see that a lot of them right now, the ones that are screaming and yelling pronouns and this and the other, and yelling about the bill that Florida just passed as to not this shouldn't be topics in school anyway. That stuff is way, way, way too personal. So you can't not think that there's some kind of an agenda behind it. And of course, I see this all the time. They're taking it from the original advertising. The advertising companies discovered back in the 40s and 50s that if they targeted the younger audiences with their products and services, that they also not only would they have enough to where they had these ideas before they got married and had kids, and actually would pass these things down to their children. So not only would they have a lifetime customer as far as catching them as early as possible in their lives, but then their offspring and their offspring, and they would have their own lifetime of patrons as far as that goes. So this is actually the strategy that I'm seeing being used now with all of this other stuff that they want these kids to be indoctrinated, or in these certain situations, they want to lead them into these. And like I say, again, you have a child, if you catch a child early enough and you teach them these things, and you not only have a lifetime customer for this kind of thing, but they pass that on to their children and their children's children, and et cetera, and et cetera. So again, this is not arbitrary, I guess you could say. It's not just out of the blue. They've been doing this for eons. Like I say, the earliest actual records, I guess you could say, of it is when they started deciding to actually talk to the younger generation for their advertising. Like I say, you then have a lifetime patron, a lifetime believer, if you will, or whatever, like that kind of thing, and then of course they pass it on down. So this is what I'm seeing. The best racism test. Okay, Iceburn, thank you. I'll take a look at that and maybe do that one for the next show. All right, but it's good news that they're finally catching these people. And like I say, go to the source. This is actually a known thing about folks like that they will try their damnedest to work as close to or with children on their job capacity. Not only, makes it easier for them. The kids come to them. They don't have to go out and find them themselves and get on the internet and all this other stuff. In fact, Pastor Chatelet, if you're still here, if not, actually I like to hang out in his pond occasionally, especially when he plays the guy from New Jersey that catches these guys. He pretends like he's a 14-year-old boy online and gets these guys and gets these predators to talk dirty to him and all of this, and he keeps the screenshots and everything like that. Actually has even had a police chief convicted. He caught a police chief up there. So, yeah. But like I say, those folks are a different, and and it wouldn't surprise me. Now, I don't know a lot of the backgrounds of some of these guys that he finds out about. He just does what's happening at the moment. But it wouldn't surprise me if you would find that some of these people work in the school system, or they work with children, or in children's hospitals, or places that it's easy for them to access children in that way. Shame on them. Good they're getting caught. If you know of anybody, don't hesitate. Okay. Here's another thing that, like I was saying before, the catching the children when they're young, the advertisement. Here's another example of that. And they're not even hiding what their intention is on this. Now, I've seen articles about this, but this one, the Valiant News, when I read this actually explained it a little better to me, a little bit more simpler. UK schools to feed children bugs as part of a science experiment to save the environment. Okay, researchers hope that children will be able to pester their parents to start eating bugs too. That's actually what ended up happening in a lot of those situations in that movie and in that book. The children were taught these things, and they were also taught to tattle on their parents. And a lot of times they would get their parents would disappear. So then who takes care of the kids? The system. And the system builds these kids. They've already tattled on their parents. They're going to be the soldiers of Ministry of Truth or whatever it is at that point. So this one. Children in 4 primary schools in Wales are set to be given the option, to eat various bugs as part of a science experiment, with those involved hoping the kids will persuade their parents to eat more insects. Seriously. What kid do you know? Now, I can see if a kid threw a temper tantrum these days and maybe the parents might do it because shut the kid up or whatever like that. But I don't know anybody that takes advice from children. Period. At whatsoever. Iceburn says, you will eat the bugs. No, I will not eat the bugs. Although Brew and Backhand says, eat the boogs. Yes, no. In fact, aren't most kids afraid of bugs? I know my little niece is. She sees a little... The study is set to start this week and will feature surveys, interviews, and workshops with children between the ages of 5 and 11. Perfect ages. That's kindergarten through 3rd grade. Across the selected schools in Wales. The researchers who have teamed up with the administrators at the schools are hopeful that children will try a wide variety of bugs, including crickets, grasshoppers, silkworms, locusts, and mealworms. You've got to be kidding me. There's no way. In fact, if I knew that this was happening, my kid would be absent those couple of weeks. No. You don't get to feed my kids bullshit. You're supposed to be taking care of my children while they're at school, not feeding them crap. Responses will be used to judge the appetite from children for alternative protein. So they're gonna allow the children to choose this. How many children do you think are gonna actually eat bugs? And wasn't there a couple of the nerdy guys in my elementary school being made to eat dirt and bugs as a bullying tactic? So they're essentially bullying these kids into eating bugs. And then, now go tell your parents to go and do this now. That's just wrong. Like I say, if this was one of my kids in one of the schools and I knew about this, my kid would be absent for those days. In fact, does anybody have any information as to the reaction to any of the parents to these children or any of this stuff? Because yeah, exactly, Bruin Backhand. That's why I mentioned this was another tactic that they're using that they got from the advertisers back in the 40s and 50s when they targeted the kids. They targeted the younger generation, knowing that it would become a habit. That's the reason why you teach kids to talk and write and everything at early ages, because then they can do it for the rest of their lives. And read and all that other stuff. You catch the kids early, you have a lifetime patron. This is ridiculous. They're trying to say that this is going to change the climate. This is going to help the climate. Don't these bugs, a lot of these bugs, eat the things that we actually grow to eat ourselves? Especially like the crickets, the grasshoppers, the locust, the mealworms. Don't they eat the same things? Not to mention the fact that I'm pretty sure that they're going to try and get people to eat maggots as well. Which, without meat or without anything rotting for them to eat, there won't be any of those either. So again, to me, this is an absolute ridiculous premise. First of all, because it's not necessary. Second of all, it's disgusting. No. Bugs, in fact, bugs are there for our chickens and our birds and our snakes and other animals to eat. They're not human food. And they say, oh, well, people all over the world do it. Fine, let them. That's fine. That's up to them. Don't be forcing people to do this shit because it's good for the environment. I guess, and I'll bet you any amount of money, any of these leaders and all of that, you won't see them sticking bugs in their faces. So, yeah, okay for thee, but not for me. Screw that. Screw that. We need to stop putting up with this bullshit. I'm not eating bugs. My kids are not eating bugs. And then on top of that, it's I was gonna say, and it's not even, like I say, it's not even for anything other than control of these people, because not only are they doing it as a science experiment, but they're trying to get these kids now to badger their parents to do the same thing. Social conditioning. All right, we got about 15 minutes left on the show. I got a couple of more things to go over if you guys don't call me. Yes, I know, we're already eating bugs to some extent, but not the way that they want to do it. I mean, look at this plate. Is that appetizing to you? It certainly isn't to me. In fact, it looks to me like as if they had a infestation. Yes, exactly, Hallie. Ew. Disgusting. No, absolutely not. Not to mention the fact that I was a biker chick at one time. I've eaten my share of bugs. They're not pleasant. Flipped out. Yeah, this is the kind of shit that happens when people's rights are taken away. Your leaders start giving you bullshit to do. They start insisting that you do all kinds of whimmy shit that they wouldn't even think of doing themselves. So, yeah, I'm with AC on this. No more tolerance for this crap. You want to do it, fine. Not me. Not anybody else. I'm not, and you're not feeding my kids this crap. Not to mention, what's to say that these bugs aren't poison somehow? Because, I mean, they're always screaming and yelling at people, don't kill your bugs, because it's going to kill the animal that might eat it. Or don't kill your mice, or don't poison your mice, or whatever, because it's going to kill the animals that might eat it. So, is this different? I don't think so. In fact, if you look, that's actually, that spoon right there, if you eat pho or any Chinese, that's a Chinese fashion spoon right there. And all of the Chinese restaurants or pho places I've ever been to, Korean, I eat all different types of food. I love pot stickers. Or dumplings, as most people call them. I like all of the kinds of dumplings. Soup dumplings, the pork dumplings. I like the big ones, the bao buns. I love those too. Those are great. But yeah, they don't put bugs in those. Pork usually. Pork and onion and rice and celery. Iceburn says F seed oil too. Seed oil? Are you talking about rape seed oil or rapeseed oil? Never could figure out that. I looked on the ingredients once. It's like, does this cause it or? Yeah, no. All right, so yeah, if I can hear the Brits now. Oh, I ain't eating no fucking bugs. I'm terrible with a British accent, but yeah. Actually, I'm gonna say a lot of the Brits, even with as crazy as they are pretty based. Especially the blue collar workers, or the equivalent of the blue collar workers over there. They don't put up with bullshit. All right. Just another reason to keep fighting against this electric car bullshit. Which actually, I still can't see why nobody can see the difference here. We've been drilling oil forever and ever and ever, or at least since the Industrial Revolution, and the pollution, even with as much as we've been doing, an erupting volcano will still spew out more carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide than all the cars that we've had in our entire history. Okay? So, they're finally starting to do studies on the surprising way that these green cars, or these electric cars, actually pollute way more than the gas-powered engines. And like I say, that kind of thing can be fixed. Plus also, too, I'm looking into it. This is just something I came across when I was actually doing some of the research for this today. Engine that runs on water, H2O. Okay, Iceburn, I sure will. Seed oil, okay. If anybody wants to watch the documentary or whatever it is he just put on there on seed oil, he put it in the chat in my Odysee. But anyway, remember the complaints about the feasibility of electric vehicles, particularly in terms of limited range? Well, guess what? You climate denier, you can't keep hiding behind that excuse. See, now that automakers are fitting bigger batteries into cars, that'll dramatically increase how far you can go between charges. And with the new fast charging stations being built with the government money, you can easily get anywhere you want to go in a vehicle that doesn't emit anything from its tailpipe. You just may be emitting particulate matter into the environment at a much higher rate than you would in a gas-powered car, according to a new study. Here at the Western Journal, we're making sure consumers know that electric cars don't just run on rainbows and dreams. That's what they want us to think, too. Not to mention the fact that electricity, where is it coming from? Where is the electricity actually coming from? Is it coming from the windmills? No. How many times have you seen a diesel engine go out and charge up somebody's car when they're stuck in the traffic somewhere or something like that? Not to mention the fact, like I say, they've got these charging stations now. I've read articles or seen headlines where 9/10 of them are not even being used. All the ones they've got out in California now or anything like that, all the ones I see out here in Houston too now, they're starting to put them in the malls and in the shopping centers and everything like that. Nobody's using them. Nobody. So far. But they're actually complaining about it in California already, that nobody's using them. So basically also too, if you think about it, you got diesel trucks, you got these giant trucks that are actually mining all of these minerals for these batteries, which not only is ruining the earth. If you've ever seen what a mine looks like, you dig these huge, ginormous holes in the middle of places that could have probably been prosperous farmland or even forest land or mountains or whatever. They use, most of the time, they use children or slave labor to mine this crap, which is also horrible human rights abominations as far as that goes. But like I say, the mining, the transporting, the building, and of course all of the crap that you need to put into this and everything like that, the plastics and all that other stuff, it's really not, it's actually, to me and to what they're finding out, it's worse than the fossil fuels. Not to mention the fact that if you take fossil fuels away from some of these developing countries, you're dooming them to obliteration. You're dooming them. There's no way for them to grow after that. So the EPA defines particle pollution as inhalable particles which are under 10 microns in diameter and fine inhalable particles 2.5 microns and smaller. The firm that conducted the study, Emissions Analytics, had previously found in 2020 that it actually makes sense because as the tires are going along, you're basically shredding them, and you're shredding them at a little at a time because it takes you 2 years to wear out your tires if you're working on them regularly and everything like that. Where does all of that stuff go? So, not to mention the fact, like I say, the United States, from what I can tell, has continued to work on that. That's why they have catalytic converters now. In fact, catalytic converters are now being stolen, I believe, for their platinum. And this is how good we've actually tried to curb our pollution. But it's never good enough for these people. And of course, you know why. Nancy Pelosi herself has investment in the electric vehicle stocks and bonds and stuff like that now because of the government wanting to do this. So tell me again that they don't have any money, any monetary gain for all of this stuff to make us do this stuff. So, no. Bruin Backhand says, correctamundo. All right, he turned into Fonzie. Yes, that's one of the reasons why. In fact, with gas prices, if gas prices were lower, nobody would even think about buying an electric car because we wouldn't need to. And it's not the gas companies gouging and all this other stuff. In fact, if you talk to anybody that owns a gas station, they will tell you that they do not make money on gas. Almost 90%, 92% of gas sales from any gas station goes directly to the government. You can talk to any gas station owner and they'll tell you, nah, fuck the gas. Come in and buy drinks. Come in and buy food. Come in and buy shit. That's why they have convenience stores along with the gas stations. Because they don't make money on the gas. Doesn't have anything to do with anybody gouging anything. Except for the government. And it's because they're pushing these electric cars. But it's because they have what do they call that? They have skin in the game. Otherwise, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't give two shits about electric vehicles. So, like I say, I found another thing about this, that they're actually developing now a water vehicle. And I actually want to look more into that, because the guy that originally developed that back in the 70s, I believe it was, mysteriously died, and all of his research mysteriously disappeared. So I'm going to look into that, and I might even do a video about that as well. Hopefully it doesn't get me eliminated. All right. So, but yeah, this thing with the electric cars, they're pushing this on purpose, and it's probably because the powers that be have a lot invested in it, and this is how they're going to make their money. This is how they're going to make their cronies money, the ones that are actually paying for their campaigns. A lot of people more impoverished, and it's going to probably genocide quite a few smaller developing countries if they can get this through. And the WEC seems to be pretty adamant about it, but they told on themselves this past week too, as far as I can tell. What was it? The one lady asked them, how many of you guys own electric vehicles? 2 people out of 300 and some odd raised their hands. So yeah, this isn't for them. They're not going to they're not going to do the same things that they're enforcing us to do, but they sure will take our money and our rights to do it. So screw an electric car. I have enough problems with electricity in my fucking house. There's no way I'm going to be stranded out on the road somewhere because of this bullshit. Bruin Backhand says there's a video on YouTube of that alien dude, Bob Lazar. The thing that I found that I've got, I think I saved it. Hopefully I saved it. I'm going to do more research on it. Is someone that just recently did this and is doing this. And actually they'll show you how to make it yourself according to what I was reading on it. Of course, I ran out of time because I had to start the show and everything like that. But once I'm one of those people, once I get to start reading, it's like, oh yeah, man, let me absorb everything about it. Let me find out more. So hopefully I was able to share enough stuff with you tonight. Tell your friends. Make sure that you let people know that I always try to make sure that I have enough stuff to cover the entire show. But of course, my expectation is to eventually get everyone to call me and tell me what you think. This is your show. And hopefully I'm providing a service to people to continue to exercise their First Amendment rights, because if we lose that, we are going to lose all of our rights. And don't let anybody stop you from saying what you think. Don't let anybody stop you from saying what you feel. They can't do you anything more than, not to mention the fact it's also what you accept. If you accept them allowing you to stop that, then yeah, you are going to stop. If you don't accept people telling you or trying to tell you that you don't have any rights, the Second Amendment, First Amendment, any stuff like that, I know YouTube hates me, but I don't really care. There's plenty of other platforms, and there's plenty of other people and people out there that actually are supporting me, which I want to let everybody know how much I appreciate you being here tonight. Once again, let me also reiterate the absolute great support that I got for this horrible time in my life, losing my baby sister to this horrible shit that's been going on for the last couple of years. Like I say, I'm just going to mention the words blood clots, and she died on the operating table, if that tells you anything. She was fully vaccinated, and she actually ended up catching COVID in January. So you know what my feelings are about that. And this is why it was devastating, because she's 8 years younger than I am. But also, too, it was avoidable. It could have been avoidable. It would have been avoidable. But they insisted on it. In fact, I think she worked for a college. They insisted on it. So I'm very, very hurt, but I'm very, very angry. But I also appreciate everybody on Odysee. My fam came to my not necessarily rescue, but you guys understood, you commiserated, you were there for me when I needed somebody to talk to. So I completely appreciate it. You know, everything's going to keep going on. Still planning on being a part of it. And that's actually something that she would have wanted. She actually wanted a life celebration. Yes, this hurts, but we're going to keep going and we're going to keep fighting in her name as well. So thank you guys on Odysee, my fam on Odysee. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. I don't think I would have done as well as I feel like I'm doing over it if it hadn't been for people supporting me and everything like that. So I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. I hope that what I shared with you tonight was fun, entertaining, and informative, if nothing else. And please, please share this with your friends. Don't forget to support my work. I'll take PayPal. I'll take, I've even got a P.O. box. You can send me something if you want. In fact, my favorite thing is these blue block glasses. I get a lot of them at the dollar store, but that's my thing. I love these glasses. In fact, I got a whole box full of them. I try to wear a different pair for every show and every video. So, but I have my favorites, but they actually work quite well as far as staring at screens all day long, because if I do it without the blue blocks, by the time I go to bed, all I can see is gray. Everything is gray. It's like it takes my color, it takes all my color, all my vision away from me. But when I wear my blue blocks and I work all day and everything like that, I can still see everything very well. So I highly recommend them. And like I say, send me them if you want. I don't need any magnification or anything like that. I have glasses for that. That's only if I have to read up close or something like that. So not that old yet. But anyways, like I said, I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate your talking to me. Appreciate Hallie calling me. Thank you so much, Hallie. I appreciate your insights too, and I appreciate you calling me. Appreciate you watching. Please tell your friends. Please support the channel, and until next time, AMF.